With the arrival of smartphones and other smart technologies now dating back to the mid-2000s, mobile network operators, or telcos, have become increasingly customer-centric over the years as they've worked really hard to ensure that they're providing the products, solutions, and services that can delight their customers. At the same time, their network strategies now revolve more and more around the customer experience. And there's no time like the present to really examine just the impact that the COVID-19 pandemic has had on this particular industry. We all know that it's had significant and serious impact across the globe. But in the particular industry of telco or mobile network operators, it's incredible to see the leadership coming together to try and focus in on what they need to do to adapt today, but how they can also pivot and to be able to set themselves up for success in the future. There are tremendous examples and experiences of corporate social responsibility that are happening across the globe, led by telcos. And in particular in the Philippines, led by CEO Ernest Su, who's led that organization into some incredible experiences and really supporting frontline staff with the equipment and services that they need in order to be successful. At the same time, there's been a real heavy emphasis as well on the challenges that telcos are facing, and then what opportunities lie ahead for them as they pivot. And there's no doubt that from a channel mix perspective, the retail experience in and of itself is changing dramatically. What's happening is that there are a whole bunch of online providers who are nimble and fast in providing their solutions in the marketplace. And to some degree, they may be upsetting or supplanting some of that retail experience that's occurring within a lot of the telcos on a global basis. The requirement as well to be able to shift people and skills to the front line, being able to adapt and adjust the call center environment so that you can appeal and you can support an ever-increasing demand of consumer interest and need. The telcos are adapting and modifying how they approach in deploying their people and skill set into the marketplace to ensure their customers are properly supported. At the same time, and it's really challenging to see, there's just been this increase of fraud and security attacks that are happening across the globe. And this is where you start to see leadership from a telco perspective in really emphasizing how important customer privacy, customer data, and the customer experience is to the telco. And you have CEOs such as Andrew Penn, the CEO of Telstra, who's taking dramatic steps forward. You may have seen him on LinkedIn earlier this week or last week, emphasizing how Telstra itself is continuing to harden and to be able to support the network so that there's confidence in the telco and their delivery to the end customer. At the same time, we're seeing this incredible shift as well in consumer behavior. And there's this increased adoption of e-commerce, of course, in terms of the purchasing process. But then you also see leadership through the likes of CEO Kwan Moon Yun at Singtel, who's really focusing in on the in-store experience as well, and recognizing that in Singapore in particular, they've got to make sure that they're supporting their frontline staff, providing all of the working environment that's safe, but also providing the confidence into their consumers that Singtel can be reached at any point in time, whether it is physical, but in a safe fashion in retail, of course online through e-commerce, and providing that incredible experience both in presence and of course online. And then finally, what's also being impacting the industry is the impact in the short term by government regulations. And what we're seeing is that a lot of the telco network rollouts have been delayed, whether it's that 4G, in particular that 4G to 5G rollout. And that has huge implications as well on the telco strategy and how they go about addressing their channel mix, how they go about addressing their top line revenues and their focus and the purpose that they're deriving and driving around their organization. So it's going to have significant impact and challenge to them going forward. Well, the good news is that the industry is coming together. There's a lot of good discussion around how to pivot and how to be able to focus going forward. And the folks over at Trustonic, an organization that secures over 2 billion devices worldwide and is heavily involved with mobile network operators globally on protecting their supply chain and other assets, has published and has supported a lot of great content here, rallying organizations together to give them a strong sense in terms of how we can manage and pivot through this situation. And don't just take it from me, Eric Meyer as well, who's the President Director and CEO of Telecom Telstra, has also identified in Indonesia the importance of addressing the changes in consumer behavior and being at the forefront of, as an industry, in addressing those changes, whether it's buyer behavior, whether it's the need and interest in purchasing online, or the changes that are going to be needed in the retail environment to address both consumer concerns as well as ensuring that everyone is protected and everyone feels safe. Thanks again for watching. I'm Gregory Wade. Please don't forget to like, comment, and share below. And I look forward to spending more time with you again in the future.